Hello, welcome to another episode of Playing Telephone. I'm Scarlett Sanchez.
I'm Dennis Kluba.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our Halloween episode. We're not really dressed. I was thinking we could do it, but then we got behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that we have to talk about today, so I didn't want to dress up.
Go spooktacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you celebrate a little Halloween-y?
Well, today is Halloween when we're recording. So
yeah, but
really,
does anybody actually celebrate on the day?
I think adults do. Adults that don't yet have kids.
Adults who have kids. Because they're going to go trick-or-treating.
But do kids get off the next day?
No, but you probably go like, okay, I got off school at 3:30, 3, I'm going to go trick-or-treat.
Did we do that on school nights?
I did even in high school.
I'm not going to say your high school over the intercom, but...
Can you imagine like an 18-year-old? Hey-o. I bet you some people do. Gotta
Your
get the candy.
Your
Gotta
school
get the
was
sweets.
infamous for partying during the week.
All right, let's hear it. For
Remember
Halloween?
I don't know about Halloween, but remember your mission week.
Oh, yeah. We had this great thing, Mission Week.
Which was
all
the
for a good
biggest
cause.
joke.
It was all for a good cause. Essentially, what you would do is pay to get into a party, and all the proceeds would go to...
Charity.
But
we were all in high school, and all the parties were...
It'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's go.
And all...
That was the best week of the year.
Energized by underage drinking.
Nobody condoned drinking by the school.
The charity didn't need to know what happened at the parties.
Well, we raised good money, so I mean, I guess that's what matters.
That is what matters. It's where your heart is.
Yeah.
I will be going out tonight, I think, as an adult.
Crazy.
I know. I went out a little bit this weekend, but nothing too wild. But I think a lot of people did the weekend before.
That typically is what happens.
Yeah.
So you retired your white overalls.
I know.
No painter, no viral TikToker.
Yeah.
This year, what are you going to be?
It's so basic, but I think I'm going to go as the guy from The Bear, Jeremy Allen White.
Okay, so you think you're hot.
All right.
I think you're kind of hot.
I literally have those things on me.
What is that, though?
An apron, a white T-shirt.
Okay. You're not
draw
gonna show
some
up
tattoos
shirtless or anything like that.
No, I'm not going to show up shirtless and be like, I'm Jeremy Allen White.
Okay.
What are you going as?
Well,
what did you go as?
Today I was Britney Spears, icon.
In her most iconic moment.
In her most iconic moment, which is this year at least.
Yeah.
We can't shut down any of her other iconic moments. I was actually listening to Britney before I came today.
Nice.
But yeah, I dressed up as part of the Knives video. So my friend from work was a knife, and I was Britney Spears in that little orange shirt, and then white bottoms and her boots, and a little bandage on the arm.
Love it.
It was a winner.
I love it. No, I can see how people would think that was...
I'm still debating if I want to do anything tonight, but...
Go crazy.
Me.
I know. We all have to make our own decisions, but we're actually starting on a sad note, right? So over the weekend, Matthew Perry, Chandler, most notably from Friends, but then other, roles throughout his career, passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 54.
54 on Saturday. Yeah, I feel like this is one of the celebrity losses that have definitely hit me. Huge Friends fan, but on Saturday, he was found in his jacuzzi. He had gone to play pickleball earlier in the morning.
Right.
He was a huge player. Like, he loved to play pickleball almost every day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It's been something that's helped him throughout his recovery with getting over substance abuse and everything, which he's been very open about over the past few years. Yeah. And they found him, though, I guess he had told his assistant to go run an errand after he'd gotten home from pickleball. Mm-hmm. And she was gone for, they didn't specify necessarily time, but for maybe like an hour or two. And then when she came back, she found him in the hot tub. He'd gone in there after playing pickleball from coming home from workout in the morning. Right. And then she called 911, and
that was
police immediately came to the scene and found him there.
And technically they stated drowning, but as the cause of death, we haven't gotten the autopsy back. But upon first diagnosis or seeing the crime scene, they said that there wasn't drugs or alcohol,
Yeah.
related to it necessarily.
Yeah.
They said that they found antidepressants and things like that, but I think that was prescribed.
Yeah,
by
everything that they
doctors.
found was prescribed to him. Anti-anxiety, antidepressant, and then another thing called COPD, which is like for somebody who has chronic bronchitis, which they connected to him being a smoker, so he smoked cigarettes and stuff.
Right.
So they related that to that, but nothing, no illegal drugs, like nothing like
crazy.
fentanyl
Right.
or meth or anything like that, which is super common even with prescription pills, though. We've been seeing, like with Mac Miller's death, things that have been laced. So I do think that even though they've had the first initial autopsy report, it doesn't, like, maybe they could find something else, but in this moment in time, like, it seems to be no foul play.
Right. Which I think because he had been so open about his struggle with addiction and with substance abuse, I think that when I first initially saw the headline, I thought that I kind of thought relapse, and I thought that was going to be, because I saw drowning at first, and I was like, this can't be just drowning. But really, when you look at it right now, it looks like that's the case. That, and it, I don't know if we're going to find out that he had a heart attack or something different that was just a natural thing that you couldn't really control. But I initially thought that there would have been that foul play just because of how open he was about his struggle with addiction.
Yeah, and in the 911 call, they called it a cardiac arrest.
Right.
But typically they call it that just in general.
Okay.
That's kind of the easier thing to label it when someone is unconscious and not breathing whenever you find someone. So, yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it was just a heart attack. It could have been other factors, which, drowning or possibly drugs.
Stroke or,
But what you're saying with, stroke, I think, like, from stories that I've heard, too, with people who do have relapses, like, I think my mind did go a little bit there, too, which I'm not saying that's fair on Matthew Perry. But,
Right.
like sometimes somebody who has been clean, he's been clean for about a year or so after that. And sometimes it kind of does just take, sadly enough, like that one time to try something again.
Right.
Whether your tolerance is lower now or whatever that may be. Because I had a family member who was clean and then they had done something one time and then they passed away. So that's, like, if I'm being honest, like that's where my mind went too.
Yeah.
It seems like that doesn't seem to be the case. Like you said, though, it takes a few months, though, that we're going to get these toxicology reports.
Right.
So to actually know what was in his system. And also, you don't know, like, these prescription pills, we don't know who was giving these to him either.
Right.
And I think that's such a dangerous thing that just happens in any type of medication and with a high-profile person.
Yeah, and I think that it's, I think it's fair for people to assume that there might have been a relapse just because with Friends becoming, again, so prevalent with when they did the reunion and all these different things, it just got so brought out in the open. And partially because Matthew Perry did want to help other people and wanted to bring light to his situation with drugs and, substance abuse, that it was like top of mind for everyone and everyone knew that he struggled with that. So it wasn't like this was a thing anymore that was under wraps. Like maybe it was in the 90s, in the early 2000s when they were at their peak, right? When everyone was kind of like, oh, Matthew Perry, who played Chandler, he would get very thin and then he kind of put on weight towards the end. And really what we know now, 20 years later, is that he was really struggling at that time.
Yeah. And he just released his book recently too, where he talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, in that reunion, the Friends reunion, he talked about sometimes he didn't remember
Like blackout.
so many of the episodes that they had filmed.
Yeah.
So, which is so crazy to talk about. And a lot of interviews have been going viral about him. One in particular was the Diane Sawyer video that he did a couple of years back where he talked about where he was taking like 55 pills a day. So yeah, just in terms of being very open about it. And he also talked about in his book how he'd spent millions, upwards of $9 million on rehabs, going to get detox, different times that he spent in rehab too, and just trying to get sober. But I think something that stuck with me the most was in one podcast that he did about a year ago. He talks about how obviously Chandler Bing is an iconic character, but I don't want to be remembered for that necessarily. Obviously, it's hard to like
disassociate,
not be associated with that when that is such an iconic role. But he wants to be remembered for helping people, specifically people who have substance abuse, which is why he got so into pickleball, which actually was related to people who were struggling with this too. So you could be that person, that guide for them.
Yeah.
And he was also starting a foundation. He was in the middle of that before he passed away to, help as well.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really jarring scene that I think a lot of people had sent me things during that day, headlines and different posts just kind of talking about it. And this is in the Pacific Palisades, so, just 30 minutes up the road from where we are. And we saw his mom, we saw his stepfather, who is actually Keith Morrison from Dateline, right?
Yeah, both
which
his
was
parents.
kind of wild. Mm-hmm. And then also his, biological father was there. So I think that any time that you see, sadly, somebody where they have not outlived their parents, that's a very sad moment. But, it was just it was a weird scene. It felt like just seeing some of the pictures, seeing some of the video,
And they did say though, that he wasn't in the water for a super long time, which I don't know why. That was just okay, that makes me feel, it's not like he was alone for I don't know how to word that, but they found him quickly enough, and not to save his life, but it's not like he was just left there for so long. I feel like Aaron Carter wasn't found for a couple days or something.
Yeah. Wow, what a good callback. Yeah.
But yeah, when they did find him, they said a bystander, which I feel like was the assistant that had wanted to go run on errands,
right,
and pulled his head out of the water. And then when fire department, other investigators came, they fully pulled him out a few hours later. So, yeah. Yeah,
super sad, honestly. And then obviously we got it was a group reaction from the rest of the cast of Friends, where they really haven't addressed it individually or personally, but more or less just a blank statement to kind of address the situation currently, and then they would probably say something more on individual terms later, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after he passed, I was waiting to hear from Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, David, everyone from Matt, everyone from the TV show, and we heard from some of the creators and some of the producers, some other people that were in the film, or in the show. But we didn't hear from, I guess, those main characters who were closest to him. So I think everybody was waiting for that statement. There was one story that came out. It was like, we're going to be expecting a statement from them. But then, I feel like they all kind of came together and really wanted to be intentional with what they said.
I think, too, with, like you said, that reunion happening so recently, I think that they've been more connected now than in past, where maybe 5 to 10 years ago, if this happened, they would have spoken out individually. But it feels like they've stayed pretty close as a cast, that they would still have each other's numbers, have each other's emails, absolutely, to be able to be like, hey, I don't think we should say anything right now, or their publicist or whomever, to give themselves time to grieve.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston are definitely very close.
Yeah.
I think as a whole, the cast is decently close too. I mean, imagine spending 10 years of your life in such a iconic role too, but I think they have stayed in contact. So I feel like I'm wondering if there'll be some sort of get together with them after more grieving time has been allowed. I don't know why I just kept picturing them all hanging out together and just sharing memories about Matthew. Obviously, I don't know if that's true, but I feel like I would want to be together and just reminiscing on those funny moments. I mean, Chandler Bing and just having so many good laughs all together.
I think something that's really interesting too, that is just inevitable when you talk about a franchise like Friends, was I feel like Matthew Perry was so talented, and throughout that he said that he didn't want his legacy to be Friends, but rather all the things that he was doing to try and help other people through spoken word, through his book, through the foundation that he's potentially creating. But it was kind of hard for me not to reflect back on his career and think I thought that he was such a good actor and obviously was so synonymous with that role, but it almost was interesting to me. I just was kind of curious and interested that a lot of that cast, they were so successful that I almost wanted him to do more projects after that. And I thought of him in 17 again. He was very, that was a great role for him. And that was just ones where I almost he struggled so much with that substance abuse that I wanted so much I almost wanted him to be able to do more projects and not just know him as Chandler, but it's just another case of like somebody, like a star that, you know, is gone too soon. And like, we just won't know, you know, what the potential was or what, you know, what he could have done continually or et cetera.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like he did have his other projects, but it is kind of what you're saying. Like, it is hard to fully separate yourself from something that
so big.
Like, everybody just adores and loves that show.
Yeah.
At least a lot of people do. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes out from the toxicology report if we hear more from the cast, you know, the main cast of the Friends characters. And
obviously, like, playing a bunch of episodes of Friends. There's a bunch of marathons and reunions. I feel like that's honestly kind of sad to jump right into, but a good way to honor him. Like I was saying, though, I do feel like there's got to be. I really hope there is something where there's a reunion with all of them together. I don't expect that to come anytime soon because I understand they need to, you know,
time to process
everything that's been going on, but it'd be cool to see them all get together in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Aside from just their statement together. But,
no, I think that'd be a cool and like hopefully the right thing to do.
And even if it's super casual, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, they don't know it's that.
Well, obviously, all of our condolences are with his family, and you know, obviously, everyone that watched Friends and was a huge fan is kind of reeling from this loss. So, hopefully, like we said, everything comes back from the toxicology report that indicates that there was no foul play, and it really was just an unfortunate incident. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But in actually happier news this Halloween, which is funny because we don't hear a lot of that lately. It's either cheating, divorce,
finally some good
an
news,
engagement.
I suppose, yeah.
Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz, which, why do they always feel like an under the radar hot couple?
I think they definitely are very under the radar.
Yeah.
Because even when they first started sparking romance rumors, it was like they were on a bike ride. It's like, are they together or are they not?
Right.
Nobody really knew. Obviously, we've been seeing more and more of them. But still, just in little sprinkles, enough to know that they're dating, but not enough to know that we're fully a part of sometimes the relationship with some celebrities that we see. Like we saw them recently at Jack Antonoff's wedding, right? With Taylor Swift and everything. And Zoe got dinner with Taylor recently too. But yeah, this news all came out over Halloween weekend. And it wasn't an announcement. Right. Sometimes everybody posts their little ring photo and everything. But, excuse me, they were actually going to a Halloween party. And they're all dressed up and everything. And Zoe's holding her knife. And you just see a big old fat rock there. So
there you go. That's all you need to know.
And the story started coming out that they're actually engaged. After, they were together for about 2 years before getting engaged.
Yeah. It seems like longer for some reason. I think that the thing that we kind of forget too, which you'll remember, is him and Jenna Dewan were together for the longest time, which we'll talk about from Step Up. But then also in the middle of that, do you remember Jessie J and him at all for a second?
Yeah.
That was kind of a wild little blip.
Short-lived little fling.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like it was longer than I thought too.
It definitely was. And we got a lot of heat during that time. Do you remember that?
Me and you?
Yeah, you and me. Yeah. No. I feel like Jessie J was posting a ton of like pictures of them.
Oh, yeah. And there was shower pics.
Exactly.
Out with Channing. Yeah.
Exactly. Versus Zoe Kravitz and him have been very under the radar, which we don't know quite, but it seems like that is the typical success story on relationships.
We've said that.
And we've been wrong.
But not because we've been wrong, because I feel like the perfect example of a private relationship was Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, and that didn't work out. So to each their own, whatever works best for each couple.
And we know how you feel about that situation. You love the publicity.
I love publicity.
Taylor and Travis.
Oh yeah, I love Taylor and Travis. I thought you were talking about how I felt about Joe. And listen, when
we know how you feel about Joe too.
When we were when we were hyping up Travis, that did not mean we were taking down all the others. Necessarily. Anyways, I'm just saying sometimes private works for some people, but if both parties are comfortable in a more public space,
right.
I do think that it is possible.
I think every relationship has its nuances, right?
Wait, there's not an exact code to how to like be perfect in a relationship?
Well, in all my relationships, they're perfect.
Okay,
but like,
we should probably send him to dentist.
But also too, I think it's important to note out that before this, we look at Channing Tatum's relationship history. Him and like he was like a 10-year guy, and like has kids. And, like he's typically a pretty committed. You know, he's a girlfriend guy. You know, a long-term person.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I don't know. I feel like we don't see that as much a lot of times. You know.
Yeah, and actually, right after his divorce from Jenna Dewan, which he was married to for 10 years, they have one daughter who's 10 years old, Averly, together.
Oh, that's such a cute name.
It's cute. They met obviously on Step Up, got married shortly after.
Love.
Together for 10 years. But yeah, after his divorce from her, he had an interview, I think it was Vanity Fair, and he talked about how he didn't know if marriage was ever going to be in the cards for him again.
Right.
But why I'm mentioning this is because you're talking about him being a monogamist, really.
Right.
And he talks about this. He's like, I honestly am such a guy who like likes monogamy, but love is really hard for me. Like I can't quite put my finger on it, but it can be difficult for me to really open up. And he was almost taking marriage out of the cards. So it's funny because like only a year or two later, he ended up announcing this engagement. And Zoe also had a similar sentiment too. She talked about after her divorce, she was only married for about a year to Carl Glusman. Yeah, they got married in June of 2019 and then broke up that following year. But she had similar interviews too, where she's just like, I'm not really a person. Like she started feeling pressure about like, you have to be married, you have to have kids. And she didn't quite relate to that. So she thought maybe marriage also wasn't the cards for her either. So I don't know. It's interesting that both of them had similar interviews.
Yeah.
And now they're both engaged and moving towards marriage.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if that works. I hope it does. But I was going to say that whereas Channing Tatum seems much more monogamous in his relationship past, I feel like Zoe Kravitz is definitely the like spicier one as of late. Just like, I just remember it was never confirmed. Nothing was like legitimate, but it was more like I would hear rumors about her and just like little flings. I feel like, and like I said, like, and that's, hey, we've all been there, little flings. But like, I was always like, it was very surprising to me that they were like, you know, like, let's lock this down. When they were dating, I was like, oh, that's cool. But now engaged, I'm like, all right.
I feel like this was a surprise in some ways. Not that it was too quick or anything like that, but I think what you're saying with we didn't see so much that it came to a little bit of a surprise. It's like, oh, wow, okay, they're engaged now.
Also, we
great.
rarely saw them like engaging in PDA or anything like that. It was like you said, those weird photos of them coming down the street, very like almost like not holding hands necessarily, but just like talking and like what Channing Tatum's riding a bike or like just random things that you're like, they seem close.
Yeah.
But we're not really getting like a kissing or like a, you know, it's more like they're just like
We've
there.
Ever seen any, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, yeah.
Which everybody freaked out about Taylor kissing just Travis on the cheek. But yeah, that's fine.
I'm happy for them. I'm interested to see what it looks like long term. But like I said, I think Zoe Kravitz is like, she was making her directorial debut. Like she's just
and
like
that's how they met too.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that, because he's in her film.
What film? You know it.
What's it called?
It's that one.
Pussy Island. I wanted to say like Dirty Mud for some reason.
Dirty Mud?
I knew it was wrong, which is why I didn't speak.
Regardless, love always comes from meeting on Pussy Island.
Ew.
Whoa, that's just the name of the movie. Take it easy.
You're right.
Ew.
Yeah, good for Channing. Met her on set, director, and soon to be married.
Love it. But that wasn't the only people that kind of dressed up for Halloween over the weekend. There were a bunch of big parties. Obviously, we know that Heidi Klum's big party is tonight as well. Who are some of your favorite, like, most notable costumes that you've seen so far? It's hard to keep track of all of them because I feel like people have a million different costumes.
I feel like the most notable party was Casamigos, which Paris Hilton showed up as Britney Spears, that kind of like flight attendant
Toxic.
outfit. Was that when Justin Bieber showed up in the scuba diving? Over the weekend, he was some sort of scuba diver. But that was, I just saw so much on TikTok, him texting Haley throughout the entire party. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but I love it.
It's like he's like FaceTiming her because she couldn't make it.
But then they went also as the characters from the Flintstones.
Yeah, that was cute on a different night. Yeah.
It's interesting how we fluctuate so much with them on. See, can you just for 1 second not have a bias on that relationship?
I was listening to you.
Everyone saw your face.
I was listening to you.
Everyone saw your face. What I'm saying is we fluctuate so much on their relationship, but they have these cute moments.
Cringy. Really, you can't be at a party and not be FaceTiming your girl 24/7?
Well, last week they hated each other.
If you need to be on the phone, like FaceTiming for every little moment.
If you need to be flying into
something's
KC
going on.
every little moment, like, come on. Please.
They just started dating.
Dating. They're married. The fact that Justin put on a costume was probably a nightmare for the nannies to get him into.
What are you acting like he's a baby?
What I'm saying is the fact that he put on 2 different costumes was immaculate this year.
I don't think that's crazy. I think like put away your phone when you're out with other people. Be in the moment.
You're being really tough on him lately. I just want to say that's a totally new chapter in your life.
But also it makes me feel like, oh, are you guys doing that because you saw the hate? I don't know. I'm starting to become like you. I'm such a skeptic.
I'm becoming more lovey-dovey. I think I'm like...
I don't like the side of you.
Oh, my God. They weren't the only people that had notable costumes. Kourtney and Travis dressed up as Beetlejuice. Can I just say this, too? With really legitimate costumes, I don't love them. Kourtney, I could tell who she was, but like Travis went all out for Beetlejuice, and I, as a kid, never liked Beetlejuice, the movie. Mm-hmm. That scared me thoroughly.
Okay, so you weren't scared of Travis, or you weren't a fan because you were scared of that movie?
I wasn't a fan because it was a little bit too real. Like, I couldn't even see Travis in there.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you had nightmares last night.
Yeah.
Or you will.
Yeah, I had nightmares.
And then we saw Kim, too, dressed up with North for Clueless. They dressed up as the 2 BFFs from that movie.
Love it.
But also, I feel like we're seeing so many different costumes for the Kardashians. Kim also dressed up as a brat style with Khloe.
Yeah.
And then we saw Kendall and Kylie. Kendall threw a party on Friday and was dressed as Marilyn Monroe. And then just the other day, they were dressed up as Sugar and Spice.
It's all cute.
I wouldn't say favorites, but there you go.
There you go.
We saw a lot of Barbie. I feel like Barbenheimer was a big costume. Taylor Swift and Travis wasn't big among the celebrities, except for like Kelly Ripa dressed up as Taylor.
Barf. What I will say about the Taylor and Travis supposed to dress up as the Beckhams, I saw for the first time the Beckhams costume, and nobody I felt like had talked about that.
Which one?
The Beckhams.
The actual Beckhams, Victoria and David Beckham.
Yeah, I love that costume.
But how do they dress? Like a soccer player?
Yeah, like one guy literally is a soccer player and wears the David Beckham like outfit. Okay. And then, yeah, as Posh Spice, you basically just get to go in a cute dress and like, you know. But I thought that was very original that nobody had talked about before Halloween.
Yeah. I feel like it's been done before.
Well, yeah, but it's just so big right now because of the doc that came out.
Okay, yeah. But the reason you're saying that, though, is because Taylor's jet flew into Kansas City, your favorite, on Monday.
Right.
And there's been rumors. We're filming this before we've seen any photos yet, so bear with us here. But apparently they're supposed to dress up as Victoria and David Beckham.
Yes. We'll see what happens.
I guess we'll see. But also, even though they're saying that's what they're dressing up as, I can also see them in terms of privacy, what we're talking about. Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever see anything.
I don't want to spread rumors, and you didn't even respond to this. Oh, but I sent you a post that was talking about this being a PR.
The publicist?
Yeah.
Pia? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you know this?
Yeah, I do know this.
Okay, you go then.
I also responded.
Oh, what did you end up saying?
WTF.
Oh. Is there any validity to any of that?
Okay, break it down. Or break it down with me. So essentially what happened was Travis Kelce's publicist, her name is Pia, It was her birthday recently,
Right.
and her friend, a bunch of friends, you know, as everybody does on Instagram, happy birthday, you repost them.
Yeah.
So one of her friends did a birthday post for her, and in one of the photos is a picture of Taylor Swift from one of their most recent games, and Pia's in the background.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce's
In the box.
publicist.
Yeah.
Yeah, also in the box. And the friend, or allegedly maybe Pia, but then they later confirmed that it definitely was the friend, because the friend responded and said this was not Pia, this was me that posted this, like, all love to Taylor.
But Pia reposted it,
But
obviously
Pia
under her story.
did repost it. Again, it's that photo in the box, but it's a
Clown
sticker
emoji.
on top of Taylor's face with a clown emoji. And Swifties went berserk over this, like, not happy. What is Travis's publicist doing, reposting someone else's, whether it was a friend or not, but why is she reposting this in general? Why isn't she doing her due diligence too as a publicist and making sure everything that goes up on her feed is appropriate, whether it's for her job or just in general, right?
Yeah. Also, she's worked for massive companies, so it's not like this is like an intern. She's like a very...
And if you're going to post something like that, private account, private. Now she's currently private, but it is a little bit sus because now people are wondering. I don't understand. You'll have to explain this. I don't understand what you mean by how that makes it a fake relationship. To me, that means either she got fired before this and then is now salty. So she's going to post this little clown thing like, whatever, you ruined this. Or maybe she's been crushing on Travis and she just doesn't like Taylor Swift in general. I don't know what it is, but it's just weird because as a publicist, you kind of always take that 5-second pause that maybe not everybody else does and think before you post.
Yeah, completely agree.
Which she didn't do.
I'm not saying that it's necessarily a fake relationship or a PR-driven relationship. It's more, like you said, that it seems that there is some trouble in paradise, not necessarily between those two, but in like Travis's camp.
Okay.
In general, right? Not from Travis, not from her mom or dad, or his mom or dad, or anything like that. But all I'm saying is the clown emoji is fighting words. Mm-hmm. And the Swifties know that. So all I'm saying is I think that it would be naive to not think that there's some form of like you said, completely valid. Pia's friend doesn't like Taylor Swift. She doesn't like Taylor Swift, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that it's, oh, that was an accident. Haha, like I didn't mean anything by it.
I mean, just that in itself, if you're making that kind of mistake as my publicist, I'd want you out in general.
Especially, but
She got fired? I don't know. She's been with him for years, so.
yeah, at the same time, too, this is the best he's ever done in his life because of this relationship.
Or, okay, Taylor Swift didn't put Travis Kelce on the map.
I'm saying from a publicity standpoint.
Oh, okay.
But also, I'm pretty sure you were the one arguing that like 3 weeks ago.
I'm not a football person, so.
I'm not a football person. In my world, yes, I didn't know about him. Oh, my God. Regardless, that we'll see if they end up arm in arm. We'll get some pictures hopefully tonight on Halloween if they are at a Halloween party or like
I don't
whatever.
know if I can even remember Taylor Swift really being a big Halloween person. But with that, though, really quickly, Travis, his family has recently spoken out saying that they are not used to this media frenzy and that they've been
Caught off guard.
bombarded and caught off guard with all of the media that they're getting post Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift romance.
It's almost like they need like a private relationship or something, or like maybe if we saw less of them, like I don't know, like we'd be better off.
Moving on.
Just saying.
Why are you such a hater?
I'm not. I'm just saying the family's struggling.
She also skipped the most recent game and he lost.
Serves him right. Serves him right.
So who do you hate? Who are you hating on? Them together, Travis, or be careful, Taylor Swift?
I'm not hating on Taylor Swift. I would never do that. I'm hating on this massive amount of publicity feels, I don't like it.
When you
Feels
walk in the
manufactured.
door as Taylor Swift, you are literally just like, publicity is here.
I hadn't heard from her in 6 years other than her music.
Okay, well,
I can't get away from her.
she's in a new era.
Not the one that I love her as a musician. I like her as a person, probably. I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot.
Okay.
Get on my timeline.
There's nothing wrong with that. There is a lot, though. I mean, it is flooding people's feeds. But I feel like now now that it's died off a little bit. I would say it's died off a little bit.
Yeah, at least the NFL got off.
And also her going on tour. I wonder if he's going to see her on tour at all.
Yeah.
What's going to be next for them. But yeah, it seems like there's going to be a little bit of separation for the time being, considering the fact that she starts tour next month. Or, oh my gosh.
Like in 2 weeks.
This week.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But he will be joining her on the tour. I said. There was an
cool.
update that said that he's going to go to some of the international shows, which I don't know how it's going to work, but... Huh. I don't know.
Maybe post-February.
Yeah, potentially. We did get an update, though, on another little bit of contention that we had seen earlier between Travis Barker and
Living for this.
Kourtney Kardashian and Kim Kardashian after everything had come out, resurfaced from the memoir with Kim and Kourtney fighting more on this recent season of the Kardashians and just like where that stems from. But Travis literally had to make a statement, I guess, because it had been so brought to light that there was maybe something that happened early 2000s, but he said that did not.
No, nothing happened between... Oh.
No, he said that did not happen.
Okay.
But I'm saying people speculated that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because obviously that feud's been building up, and everybody but Kourtney group chat that Kim said they had where they talk shit about Kourtney. And then the memoir that you're talking about is where he called her effing hot, and he was definitely very into Kim, even though he was dating Paris Hilton. But Kourtney essentially was pissed off at Kim for copying her with the wedding and Dolce & Gabbana, which was like the dumbest of fights. Also, if you're fighting over little fashion things with your sister, you're probably gonna have one big fight maybe, and then move on from it. It's not the end of the world. But I don't know. I think this is kind of weird that Travis Kelce. I think this is a little bit weird that Travis Barker felt the need to insert himself in this. I feel like his reasoning, though, was he wanted to clarify that Kourtney feels no type of way about Kim. Everything is good with them. And also that he felt like his memoir was him...
this is BS. Go on.
What?
This is BS.
I know, so I'm struggling to say it. But essentially, it was therapeutic for him, and nothing had happened between him and Kim. Kourtney is very much aware of his relationship with Kim in their past, but that was it. Nothing physical ever happened.
It's therapeutic for me to talk about all the ass I used to get.
He said nothing came of it. Nothing physical.
I know. How much of this do you believe? I'm saying the part of nothing physical, I do kind of buy that. Do I buy that Travis's thing of you give people a little information, they think they've solved the mystery of this is why they're fighting, it's just so ridiculous. I do think, and we know how this camp works with the Kardashians, with Kris, with the whole thing. I think there is a feud between Kourtney and Kim a little bit. Like they have a sisterly kind of rivalry. I don't really necessarily think that anything happened between Travis and Kim. Like I don't know that or really have any reason to believe that. But I do think that he had to go out and say something because
he fucked Kim.
Happy Halloween. I feel like when there's smoke, there's fire. And so with all this publicity that it was getting, they basically had to tell him to go put out the fire and say, hey, don't say this. But I think that means that something did happen.
I fully disagree with you. Kris is not going to go putting out fires unless it's true. I feel like I agree.
So then is it true?
But I think they were physical. I think there was something more in that relationship.
So he's putting out the fire.
And he's putting out the fire, but I think he made a mistake talking. Don't talk, Travis. We don't want to hear from you. Also, this just made me feel like it's even more true by you speaking up. This is ridiculous. It sounds defensive. This is therapeutic. Defensive. Just chill. Let it fizzle out. Let everybody think that a couple sisters are having a little bit of a fight. No?
Yeah,
I feel like sisters fighting is not that deep.
No.
Like, honestly, like me and my sister, ride or die, love her to death. We fight though. That's natural. That's normal. But for him to feel the need to speak out to defend his wife over this makes it feel like there's something more to it. Yes. Why do you need to defend your wife against her sister? It's fine.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I think we're agreeing.
We are agreeing.
We are agreeing. Yeah.
That's just funny.
I
think the only thing we disagreed about was the physical part, which Shayna Moakler, his ex, has talked about. She 100% thought they were having an affair. Not that I believe Shayna Moakler. I honestly think The truth is in the pudding? Is that the phrase?
I think that's right. I didn't like it, though.
With his memoir. Nobody writes about that who didn't have some sort of infatuation.
That's what I said. And also the fact
spicy.
that we let him write a memoir.
Yeah.
I just think he's a little warm.
You hate Travis Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
Okay.
I hate Justin.
You're saying some really not take back things right now.
Put me on the record.
You had a crush on him for the first 20 years of your life.
I still have a crush on him. I'm just mad at him. Can I be mad? Can I be mad at my sister? Can I be mad at Justin Bieber?
You can be mad at them, but you can't say you hate them.
Don't take
That's
me to
a little
the grave
deep
on this. Okay, I don't hate anyone.
Okay, good.
Really, I don't.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. Yeah.
You.
I completely think you're right, though. I don't think he needed to say anything. By him saying things, it made it seem like he's more guilty. And that's where I do think that, yes, exactly. Kourtney and Kim could have just been fighting, sisterly rivalry. Now the fact that you addressed it makes me think that it did happen.
I'd honestly forgotten about it, too, is what I was thinking about. That was really when I was reading this. I was just like, wow, I kind of forgot about their little quote-unquote feud until he talked about it again.
Also, who was he praising for helping him overcome his fear of flying? Kourtney? Okay, good. I was going to say, if you said that, if he was praising Kim for helping him overcome his fear of flying, I was going to say...
That's very recent. He hadn't traveled after his accident in a long time, and then we saw him go to Mexico and go on a few trips recently. But he did credit her for helping him get through that, which I totally believe that. And then, in a way, said, like, she healed our family. So, cute. But recently, though, too, he was on a podcast called One Life, One's Chance with Toby Morse. It was on Monday.
What's the name of this?
I thought it was One Life, One Chance, but it's like One Life, One's Chance. Okay, anyways, though, he was on that podcast on Monday, and that's when he was talking. Everybody was kind of trying to find any sort of hint of when Kourtney's having her baby because she's super pregnant.
Right.
And I personally thought she already had the baby, but then we saw photos of them out together and she's still very, very pregnant. But in that podcast, he talked about how he wasn't able to go to a certain benefit concert in Hawaii because it was going to conflict where he possibly might need to be going to the hospital to be there for Kourtney.
Right.
But it turns out that he also gave, I guess, the due date, which is Halloween or the first week of November.
Okay.
So obviously babies can come early, babies can come later,
right.
But that's the expected time.
Now we know.
This week. Yeah.
Now we know.
Because I feel like we didn't really know because when she announced it, she was still pretty pregnant, but we were like, is she 3 months, 4 months, 5 months? We don't really know. It was a huge
Also,
gap.
he had that emergency.
Yeah, and they also had that emergency surgery.
Yeah.
Him or her.
Him flying back. Yeah.
And then also in that podcast, though, he slipped the name, and I say slipped because we'd seen that baby shower where fans zoomed in and saw on one of the notes that it said Rocky on it, but he said that the baby's name will be Rocky 13. 13. Rocky 13.
Rocky George played guitar for Suicidal Tendencies, he said, and 13 is just the greatest number of all time. Mm-hmm. Let's just talk about baby names really quickly before we go any further. I mean, this is getting absurd.
I don't know why just having numbers made me think of Elon Musk's baby. It's like the square root of blah, 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 whatever it may be. I'm okay. I actually am kind of a fan of obscure, unique names. I think some of them can be cute. Like Stormy, cute. I'm a fan.
At some point, she'll be an adult. Or
Stormy? I feel like, yeah.
Stormy Daniels.
Oh.
The porn star with Donald Trump.
Candy?
Don't name your kid Candy either.
I just saying you said porn star, so that's where my mind went.
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. I just think that this is... I don't know.
You're not a fan.
Do you remember? I mean...
Which part of it? Is the Rocky part or the 13?
All of it.
Rocky's
like a dog name. Yeah.
Rocky
is Rocky, the movie.
Come here.
Rocky 13 might as well be the 13th installment of the Rocky movie series.
Honestly, when I saw that, I was looking.
Sylvester Stallone?
Is there a iconic Rocky 13 movie that I haven't heard of?
You're married in a role play. Let's play dress up. You're married and you're having Travis Barker's baby. He suggests Rocky 13. You say, No. You say...
What's Rocky 13, though?
I don't know.
This little compilation? Oh, I thought you meant Rocky as in the movies.
No, I'm saying he says to you, I'd like to name the baby Rocky 13.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
What's this 13 for?
It's a great...
Rocky...
It's one of the greatest numbers of all time.
No, babe.
That's not a good enough reason to name it 13.
Don't put a number in there.
No, babe.
Ever. I have numbers that I really like, and I would never be like, Scarlet 5. I really like the number 5.
It's like you're picking out a license plate.
Yeah. Dennis 8. To the front of the line, please. What? What are we doing?
I'm number 8. Hold up your ticket.
I just think these names are getting too weird. Like, I get it. You guys want to be unique. You want to do your thing.
Yeah.
There's a line, though.
There's
Don't
a
make
line.
these kids hate themselves when they grow up when they're older.
Hard to...
I mean, gosh, Jonathan Scarlett over here. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Did you like your name growing up?
I love my name.
You love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's unique, but also like everyone's immediate association is Dennis the Menace, which I loved that character growing up, and like that was just like cool. Like it was a cartoon character, like it was like it was a movie.
It's never annoyed you though?
No.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah. I liked my name too.
Yeah.
I always got Gone with the Wind quotes or stuff like that. But now more recently, Scarlett Johansson.
Did you want to do you want to add 13?
I kind of do.
This is the greatest number of all time.
Yeah.
Staying in, though, the Kardashian world, speaking of that feud between Kourtney and Kim, Kourtney's getting ready to have Rocky 13 anytime now. Kim, on the other hand, went bonkers this past week by launching partnerships for Skims with an NBA collab, signing a bunch of different male athletes to the new men's, offerings and garments and apparel, and then also a new bra innovation as well.
Yeah. Okay, the first thing that came...
Speak to me. Okay, you touch on the nipple bra, because I don't even know if that's something that we need to struggle with or what.
First of all, okay, first was the men's line, though.
Right.
Which would you buy? Skims men's underwear? Have you seen it? Did you look?
I just saw the ads.
Okay.
Like, I saw...
So you looked.
Yeah, I didn't really look at, like, the material or the colors or anything like that.
So whenever you're shopping, do you check, like, oh, this is 50% cotton?
I have a really big... I think you'll be surprised by this. Guys have, like, a very strong opinion on their underwear.
The materials?
Materials,
like what's your go-to material for your undies?
I don't really know what the material is, but I have Lululemon underwear. That's like...
Okay.
I like old...
So
like
kind of like spandexy. Yes,
which was when I saw the Skims, I was kind of like, oh, this is probably competing in that same sector. I would guess it would be high quality. I don't know. As opposed to like Tidy Whities or something like that.
Fruit of the Loom.
Never. You'd never catch me in those.
I really like the brand like MeUndies for girls and guys. I feel like has good. It kind of has that spandexy feeling too.
I feel like it's a little bit kiddie for me, but that's just...
Have you heard of MeUndies?
Yeah.
It's not a kid's brand.
I mean, how do you feel when you say it? MeUndies.
Anywho. But yeah, she brought in...
Also, you're hooking up with somebody. He has Skims on. Good or bad? How do you feel?
It's a little cringe.
A little bit too much? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a girl, which I don't know, but...
Girl can have it on.
Yeah. I just feel like...
Too connected? Too in the know? Too in
the know. That just means you're really kind of obsessed with all the news and all that, but...
Yeah, I hate guys like that are like obsessed with the news and pop culture. That sucks.
So literally...
Those guys.
I don't need to be obsessed with the news. I just feel like...
Too trendy. You like
everything that Kim Kardashian puts out. Because even I'm like, I kind of steer clear sometimes of her products. Just because it maybe is mainstream, but... She's just hitting so many parts of every single thing that you could possibly think of. Benz, NBA, sports, nipples. But yeah, anyways, though. What was the question?
I think you answered it.
Okay.
You'd be cringed out.
A little bit cringe.
The one reason that
It's not because of like being in the news though. It's just Kim Kardashian. Like why are you wearing Kim's?
Why do you care? Why do you know about what Kim Kardashian's doing?
Why are you wearing Kim's brand?
The one thing I will say that did intrigue me about it was I think the people that she chose. So she chose for the menswear ad, Nick Bosa, Neymar, and then Shai. I'm gonna murder this. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Those three are not Neymar. Exclude him. He's one of the biggest soccer stars in the world. But I'm saying like Nick Bosa is a big star in the NFL, but he's not like.
Don't say Travis.
No, but he's not like the poster child. Like, I don't know how to, like.
But that body, though, he blew up.
But that's what I'm saying, where he's kind of a thicker guy.
Have you seen his abs? What do you mean thicker?
I'm thicker, like big, staunch guy.
Built
guy.
Strong?
Okay.
Ripped?
I don't need to name qualities about guys. I'm saying that when you're talking about guys, a lot of times, same from he's a thick guy in a good way.
Oh, hey.
Like he's built.
Yeah.
Versus what I'm saying is like, I feel like majority of the time when you're talking about like, if you're doing underwear ads or something like that, like if you're doing Calvin Klein or something like that.
You're a Biebs type.
It's more like it's kind of like a little bit of kind of got like body positivity of like, oh, he's like a built guy, but he's not like super stick thin.
I'm not following. His body is too insane for you to be like, oh, body positivity. Oh, I have a 6-pack. No?
I'm saying he's just thick thighs.
Okay. Anyways.
You're not a guy, so you're never going to buy the menswear from
true.
Skims.
Actually, you
so
never
maybe
know.
the only thing
I feel
that's
like
important is the way that I feel about it.
Okay.
Maybe that's the only thing.
Okay, I'm here to listen.
You say what you're going to...
Honestly,
sometimes you buy men's...
They do have like little like boxer briefs that are boxer brief styles for women though too.
And you would buy or you wouldn't buy?
I would wear those. Those are cute. Her little Skims. She has Skims. It's Skims.
You know what I don't like is girls that just buy everything Kim Kardashian because whatever.
I don't. I just have like one thing that's Skims. I seriously don't. Although
she makes one thing for guys, and then if he has it on, it's like he's the worst guy in the world. And he watches the news, and he like knows what's going on.
I mean, I love a guy in Lululemon. Like that's cool. Oh, yeah, you did say that.
You're backtracking so hard this
I'm
episode.
not backtracking. Lululemon and Skims is different. I'm a hater on Skims sometimes, okay?
Okay.
That's it. Kim, I just feel like it's so crazy how much she's just taking over so much.
Different industries and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to see her everywhere. Like,
I wouldn't mind seeing her everywhere. That's okay for me.
okay, I get that, but I don't need to see you everywhere. I still don't. I don't. I'm proud, like, cool. I'm going to say proud. Is it cool
Kim,
to
we're
see
proud
a
of
woman
you.
really, like,
Crushing
doing
it?
so much in different industries? But it is like, wow.
Chill out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're seeing her like she's doing too much, almost to a certain degree.
I guess maybe spread them out because the reason I want to talk about this is just one thing after another. It felt like this week, which is great. Something that I do want to buy though, which is really quick before I forget, is Kylie Jenner's new line too. She's doing her own fashion line.
Okay.
KHY. It's all leather. At first, everybody was thinking like, oh, real leather? No, it's faux leather and everything. But
like leather pants, leather
November
jackets,
1st, leather everything. Like there's a strapless leather dress. There's a leather top that goes like that, and then a big leather jacket. And then it's so cute because she did her little interview and she talked about how it's affordable clothing. Everything's under $200.
Go on.
Okay, compared to some
no,
prices
I'm saying that is
200 is actually
I'm
really
with you.
good.
It is affordable.
And then she goes, oh, and then I made Stormy everything like her size too, just to have her own version. Okay, sorry, I thought that was cute. I said one thing positive. I get shit on if I'm negative, shit on if I'm positive. What do you want from me, Dennis? What do you want from me?
What's your take on leather clothing on girls? Like, what are you thinking when you put on leather?
Is it animal cruelty?
No,
Is that what we're talking about?
No. I'm not going that way at all. I'm saying like...
It's a little basic for me.
Oh, really?
We're past the leather pants stage.
I'm just saying...
When everybody was going to Aritzia to go get those same leather pants.
Yeah.
We get it. Leather pants are in. Or Abercrombie had a great pair too. I just knew that was going to pass quickly.
Okay.
So I never bought those. But will I buy Kylie Jenner's leather top, again, faux leather top or faux leather mini dress, super cute. But also just because I like the style of it.
Okay. I'm saying that
I'm not saying
I love
not
little
basic
leather.
or am basic, but yeah.
I love leather. Not on me.
Okay, we need to speed up to the end of this.
Talk to me though about the nipple bra. We didn't talk about the nipple bra.
Okay, the nipple bra.
Skims.
Yeah, Skims also did a launch right after making millions of dollars off the men's line.
Yeah.
That was one of her highest selling things though. As much as I'm hating on it, her best launch ever
Menswear
yet
line.
was the menswear line. Sold over
Feels like you can't argue with it.
okay, that's my annoyance though. It's like anything she just like touches turns to
Gold.
Gold.
25,000 orders in first 5 minutes.
Thank you.
How many of those do you think were bought by men, and how many do you think were bought by girlfriends of?
Girlfriends. Good point.
A lot of times there's products that are targeted towards women that buy things for their boyfriends.
Now I'm with you. I would totally buy my boyfriend's Skims underwear. You're right. Shit. I hate myself. I really do.
You were hating so bad. Literally 7
It's
minutes
because
ago.
I want to hate her sometimes, okay? But I can't.
I know.
I own Skims. What can I say? Okay?
I'm basic.
I'm basic. But no, the nipple bra, I'm not a fan of, okay?
Did she talk about like
I'm
why?
Confused.
Or
Every
what?
girl's goal is like trying to wear like everything that's been blowing up is nipple pasties, anything, but then also free the nipple. But also free the nipple is supposed to be actually like natural. So then it just like put out this brand where you're just like making these fake nipples. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of it. Did she look sexy though in that video? Yes, she did.
Give me the
Just feels trashy to me.
like an anatomy too. Sorry, like wouldn't everybody's bodies be different, or like how like?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, every nipple is different, but
I shouldn't say, is that supposed to go in there or no?
I mean, I think your nipple can go wherever it wants.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's different, so that's where it's like it didn't seem like it was ergonomic. It was more like just
Yeah, I mean,
for
essentially,
fashion.
like wherever my nipple's gonna go and the nipple's gonna be, you're gonna mainly see the one that's fake,
right. It's pronounced.
which I guess is why I'm like, honestly, my hate towards Kim has been about this bra, because I'm just like,
Okay.
why are we creating fake nipples? Like, we all got them.
We all got them.
Why do we need to make fake ones? But then I started seeing reports today, which confused me. Yes, some of the proceeds were going to,
Charity organization.
to a charity organization for the environment, which is why she made that climate change joke in the very beginning of her promo video. And that part, it made sense. But then I started seeing connections to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which I was like, okay, that's really cool, because a lot of survivors have come forward and saying like, this is the perfect bra for me, because if I had a mastectomy or you know,
have to lose your
you have to lose your breast or any certain way, she's like, I can be confident.
I'm down with
and
that.
I can have a bra that supports me and also like is creating that effect that I don't have currently anymore and that I miss almost in a way. So that part I did like. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that all made sense. But Kim didn't promote that. So that's not really on Kim.
It's a
that's
secondary.
That's on reaction and people
Right.
praising it because of what it's brought to them, which that makes me happy. But
Yeah.
Kim would have been smarter if she would have done it that way.
If it would have been what she was thinking of.
Yeah,
But she wasn't.
She was thinking about the environment and climate change, which also great
Also
causes.
good.
Also great causes.
So good.
But I don't know how that. What does that do with nipples? Anyways,
Everything. Regardless, I think that wraps this spooky Halloween episode of Playing Telephone, right?
yes. Full episodes are on YouTube, and then other updates on TikTok and Instagram at Playing Telephone.
Thanks for listening. Bye.